Hey guys, guess we're live, right? All right, so yeah, basically, let's start another live today. Let's do some live coding sessions, right? So today I scheduled for actually fixing problems that I got on my previous pull requests and actually adding a personal README on my GitHub page that I didn't know there was a thing, and I got it from Herminio Torres. I checked his GitHub account. I saw he followed me. It's the pipe reducer guy here. And thank you for following me though. And yeah, I saw that his page is pretty cool. I saw that there's this stats here. I want to put that on my README page. So yeah, it's kind of a nice contribution, a nice way to set like a default explanation about who is yourself. But I'm going to put just the stats for now, right? So yeah, let's start with the easiest one, I guess, which is the fix the callback call on this pull request that I did to Phoenix live view. Let me just resize here to actually see the chat here. I did a pull request to Phoenix live view that will fix this issue here. Like there was this person that was trying to send, like he wanted to send an event, and the target would be the actual element, the actual Phoenix live view element, right? So he realized that it's not possible to do something like this and send the element itself as a target. So they were only accepting a string. So I changed it. Hey, hello, Kin Kurono. I'm not sure where you come from. Maybe the only place I I actually put the link, which is the Elixir Telegram. So probably, right? So yeah, the contribution here. Hey, Roger. Cool. Thank you guys. Thank you for checking it out. Hopefully it will be useful and we could have like a chat also. So yeah, lots of Brazilians. E aí galera, beleza? I love Brazilians. I am one, by the way, just for reference. So yeah, my contribution was this, and basically I was reviewing it myself the other day, and I got a bug just by reading it, because this target variable, that this is JavaScript, by the way, it's not Elixir, but it's on Phoenix Live View, so it's an Elixir project. Anyway, this target variable doesn't exist. What I should be doing is sending this Phoenix target. So I actually can do this by just editing this file, I guess. But another thing I wanted to do is to actually check if this Phoenix Live Vue.js file has tests on it, like because I didn't check that before, and let me check oh right, I was in the right place. And yeah, the test passed for most versions, so I suspect, I don't know, actually, maybe, I mean, I introduced new stuff, so I would not expect tests to fail by introducing that. Right, run tests. I guess it's Phoenix, yeah, so just mixed tests. I suppose there's no JavaScript tests written there. Maybe that's something that could improve on Phoenix Live View. Yeah, maybe suggest that to the lib creators. Chris McCord, by the way. Hey, Kin, did you contribute to it too? Like, yeah, there's JavaScript tie tasks, stand up initial JS tests. Enough to speed the latest front-end testing. Actually, there should be, because there's this merge pull request there. Cool. There should be actually. Where is it? Ooh, 6,000 lines introduced. And VM install. Maybe there was this as browser testing. Let me check the actual code in the repo. Yeah, there is, but it's not run on the CI. So, ooh, yeah, maybe they want me to write a test for it too, right? Yeah. So let's get to work. I have it already cloned here. Let me start a Tmux session for. I guess I have. Yeah, I have a Tmux session for it already. Hopefully you can see that. Like, is that too little of a font size for you, or? Oh, nice, Roger. Nice. You're here to learn how to contribute. Cool. It's pretty simple actually. Even on I guess the Elixir community is one of the most welcoming ones, right? It's there's like one thing I do is basically to watch the projects here. You just watch all activity and you go through the notifications there. Like you go through each of the notifications. You're gonna get notifications for new pull requests. You're gonna get notifications for merged ones, closed issues, new issues. So whenever a new issue comes up on a project that you want to contribute to, you can be one of the first to say, hey, I want to take a chance on fixing this, you know. And just one thing to be aware is like to always do that, like to notify people that you want to work on that. That's what I did here, like on my pull requests, which is this one. On the initial issue that the guy created, I did mention that I think I can open up here for it if no one else is interested. I mentioned it because then if someone else wants to take it or is already doing it, they could notify me. So then there will not be duplicated work, you know. But yeah, I did some contributions also to Elixir core, which was quite amazing for me because I never did stuff like that. And yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, then you just fork here, download your git clone there, right? And just do the changes. Like basically this pull request was the introduction of 4 lines, like this if Phoenix target node type, which actually checks if this is an element, is a DOM element. And then I got this code from down here, like, which is the other way. Like they get all the targets and then they go through all the targets and execute this owner function that gets the view for this live socket, right? Given a target, it gets the view of that target actually, right? It's the owner view, and then executes the callback. So that's why actually my code is wrong, because I just copied from here and pasted here. And that's why the target here was referring to this target, and that's why I messed up. I should have written Phoenix target there. So yeah, Phoenix target, that's it. That's the fix. But also I wanted to check the tests. Just not sure how to execute the test because I'm really not a JavaScript developer. I kind of hate it, but I love live view, so that's why I gave it a chance, like this fix. So browser support, contributing, mix here. That's it. Yeah, all right. So from inside assets, you have to run tests. npm install. Probably, right? And it's gonna take a while. I'm sure everyone that worked with with Node already knows how this feels. Anyway, that's a pretty interesting project. Not sure. Have you ever used Phoenix Live View, Keen or Roger? You see how many people? 5 viewers. I guess that's a personal record. Oh, you did. Cool. Did you like it? Because I did only for personal projects. Was it in production? Yeah, me too. On my side projects, I loved it. Nowadays, I'm a backend developer only for Toggle Plan, and I never touch anything front-end related, right? So I don't actually need live view, but I was a full stack developer before in the previous. Are you hearing these beeps? I'm not sure. But I was a full stack developer, and I totally hated SPAs actually. And when Chris McCord announced live view, I was like, it was love at the first sight, you know. I was like pretty impressed with the work he had so far, and it was just at the beginning. Right now, I'm sure it's a lot better because I just used this once or twice on side projects, and yeah, it's my dishwasher. I actually put it to work before starting the live. Then I realized that it was too noisy and I stopped it. I just hit pause, you know, and it's like beeping out saying, please unpause me. Oh, cool, you're full stack engineer. Oops. From the start of career until now. Cool. Yeah, I like the idea of full stack engineers. One thing that I hated back then was to actually have to do JavaScript, like heavy JavaScript for like interactive stuff. That's why I kind of fall in love with Phoenix Live View, you know. Oh, it's already done. Come on, I'm waiting here for something that's... All right, run test watch. All right, the test, and there's fails. Import socket, what's that? I hate when that happens. Let me just run the test, not the watch. Runs. Yeah, a lot of them failed. You started with Elixir randomly, was mainly using JavaScript and Java. Yeah. As for me, I was a Ruby full stack engineer. I started with Delphi back then. Like I'm like 12 years working with programming. But my first full stack job, like web development job, was a Ruby one on Rails, and I really loved Ruby. But one of the things that got me in search for other solutions was that Ruby is pretty slow. It consumes a lot of memory. It was always like you had to ever optimize it. You know, you always gonna be working on optimizing, using caching to solve stuff, because that's the only way that you can make it blazing fast. You know. So, and caching is totally, it's something that I didn't even need since I started working with Elixir, you know. Oh, cool, you're working with Ruby now. Why hating it? Come on, it's a nice language. I was so much in love with Ruby once, and actually when when I met my wife, which is nowadays my wife, I was in love with Ruby, and then we kind of did this joke on our wedding rings. One in her ring, it's written better than fries, because French fries is the thing that she most love in the world, you know. So I'm better than fries. And on my ring, it's written better than Ruby, because that was the thing I most loved. And when I switched to Elixir, she said, "Oh, come on, now there's something else that maybe you love Elixir more than me." It was funny. Anyways, come on, the tests are failing. I hate when that happens, because I was expecting it to pass. It's cannot find module Phoenix from test integration metadata tests. The contribution page there doesn't say you have to do anything else. Browser support, style save prefix assets. Maybe you have to do this before. Not sure. We appreciate any contribution. Please see. Okay, Elixir tests, JavaScript tests. Do not include an updated Phoenix Live Vue.js. Right, the previous static one. I didn't do that. Hopefully. The maintenance will update. All right, let me just see what I can do. First, let's commit this change here. All right, this one, the package.json, I can discard. Let me update it to fixing the variable name. Variable name for target. It's supposed to be Phoenix. Oops. Phoenix target, not target. Maybe I'll get back to this later, because I really don't want to get caught on testing of the fix that I already did. I just want to get through my list. Although I like TDD, I would like to do TDD, but as I said, JavaScript is not my main language, and I don't love it. And the other contribution I want to do is related to an Elixir project we have here on Toggleplan. So I'm gonna jump to that one, and maybe if we get time, how much time is left? Yeah, we have a lot of time. Maybe we get back to those tests. If not, please do not be mad with me, because I didn't do what I promised. I'm gonna jump first to the holidefs one, which is basically, it's holidefs is a library, Elixir library. But to get the holidays with like function calls like this, you just include the holidays, and like I want to get all holidays between this date and this date, and it's going to return you like this holidefs holiday strips with the name of the holiday, the date that they happen, and that's the idea of the library. So I recently did these pull requests on another live. You can watch the videos back then. Oh, you were talking there. So you started Elixir randomly, learned Elixir 1 week and got the job. Cool. So you're working with Ruby because it does a lot of magic. Oh, right, you don't like it because it does too much magic. Yeah, I felt your pain. That's totally fair. I mean, like compared to Elixir, it's a lot more magic. Some people on the Elixir community actually don't like that Elixir and Phoenix, by the way, not Elixir, but Phoenix does a little bit of magic here and there. It's a lot less than Rails, right? But it still does. But yeah, that's one thing I love about Phoenix too. Like I don't like that much magic anymore. I was in love with that in the beginning, but when you start to get problems with that, you kind of hate it. Roger, are you using Vim to have multiple windows in terminal or something like Tmux? I'm using Tmux, so yeah, I split. I split Vim on multiple panels too because it's I think it's useful. Like you can have the list of buffers also. I don't even know how to get the list of buffers, but anyway, you kind of use one Vim instance, but you use Tmux to actually split and open new tabs like this. One's in here, and yeah, I normally do that on my day-to-day work also. So yeah, back to holidefs. So back then, before this pull request, uh, uh, holidefs was an application that started a process on startup. So it had this, where is it? Where's the mix file? Here on mix, you can set this mod, you know, to actually say that, yeah, this is the module that should start this application. And on this module here, application, it's probably up there. Application here, yeah, the diff is pretty big. So on this project, I used to start this store, and this store was a gen server, actually an agent, right? This is the store. It was actually an agent that, when starting, it went through a list of definition locales and loaded these locales. So it all was stored in memory, but on a process, you know. And I got this idea of actually, I don't need a process for that, because these definitions here, they don't change at runtime. They only change at compile time. I mean, if I want to support a new locale, what I have to do is to create a new file and put the holidays definitions on the list of files, and update this function to actually return this new locale, and that's it. But then I'll have to recompile anyway, right? Because it's a new file on my project, and I'll have to release a new version. And releasing a new version, it forces users to actually recompile the dependency. So then I just got this idea that I can actually use meta programming to load these definitions at compile time. And then that's what I did basically. It removed a lot of code actually. The only thing that I had to, like, I was not expecting to have to change, but I had to, is this, where is it? There was a way to, there's like this custom functions, it's the name, yeah, this here. There's like the definition rules, right? And there's like custom functions that someone can say, hey, use this custom function to load this date here, because some holidays, they don't happen like every year on the same date, right? They kind of are random, like Easter, for example. So they're not totally random, because then I'll not be able to create a function for that. But anyways, and previously I was returning I was doing pretty crazy stuff, like why returning a function that applies to the custom function, while I could actually just return, in the end, I discovered I could actually just return the name of the function, because all the custom functions are defined on this custom functions module. And then here in this custom functions module, I just created this call function. So I just send the function name and I check if there is any function modifier. I do apply this modifier, but if the rule doesn't have any function modifier, I basically just call the function, pass in the attributes, which are the year and the rule. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So what else? Why I'm saying all that? Basically, yeah, I implemented it. It's doing it on compilation now, so the definitions are loaded on compile time instead of startup, on the system startup, which makes system startup faster. But there's no other benefit. In the way that I actually did it right now, there's really no other benefit from using this. The only benefit is that the definitions are loaded on the code, and when starting up, it's going to be loaded when the code is loaded, right? But I know that I could improve that by actually generating one clause of this get definition for each of the locales available. So basically I'll be generating multiple defs, like multiple guard, multiple clause function, right? Like this. Let me load the holidefs one here. So what is it? It's the file store. The file is store. So if you have any other question, just ping me there on chat. Hopefully I'll see your question before going way past on the context of it. But yeah, the idea is that right now, this get definition, I have this definitions thing that's loaded here on compilation, okay. But still, every time someone calls get definition, I do check, hey, this go through this list, like iterate through this list and get the first locale that's going to match, like the code is going to match the locale that's passed, right? And actually the get locale atom converts the string to existing atom if it's on the locale keys, right? So all this could be written something like this, like get definitions, get definition, English, right? Do, or US actually, because it's the US, and then instead of doing the whole search on the definitions, return the definition itself. But how to do that actually? Because there's still a list. Basically, what I can do is, I get these definitions, I forward to them, at compile time. This note that this is on the def module. It's not inside any function. So this for is going to get executed at compile time, not at runtime. So then I do this basically. I guess it's unquote. I have to do quote actually, or something like that. I'd never remember it that well. When I have to use quotes, when I don't, you know. But anyways, it's okay to be wrong sometimes. You can discover it right after, right? And then this would just return the definition itself, right? It just basically this way it's going to generate one instance, one clause of get definition that accepts, I guess it's unquote, because I need to get the value from there. But I'm not sure if this unquote is going to work outside of a quote block like this. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna see if it works. And also, as you can see here, we don't compare it just to the definition itself. Here on definitions, actually, it's going to return the definition how can I say, the definition itself. So it's the code here, but also I want to be able to match by the string. So atom to string or something like that. Anyway, I guess toString is a method on kernel that I maybe can use here. And those are the two variants of getting the given definition, right? So let me just check on IX if toString is a method. Yeah, toString, right? Which gets anything, and it's the example here is a atom, even like it converts the atom to foo. So if someone calls something like hey, holidefs dot definition, right, I didn't start it with mix loaded. All right, let me just exclude this one and put it as a default. Like so, enum find is going to return new if nothing matches, if nothing is found on that list with that function, right? So basically, I just have to implement this last clause that matches everything and returns new in that case. So to keep backwards compatibility, right? And then IEX mix. Right. There was warnings, variable definition does not exist and it's being expanded to definition. Please use parentheses to remove the ambiguity or change the variable name. All right. I got it. Basically, I'm trying to return the definition, but here what you have is the loaded code from compile time. You have to unquote it. It's kind of hard to explain quote and unquote. Not sure if you guys know what it is, but think of it as this, let me show you. Think of it as this here, oops, as this for code, right? Like, because here you're writing code, then you have a value saved somewhere and you want to print that as a string, and then you have other code. Basically, that's what unquote do. Unquote is this here, oops, unquote is this basically. So Roger said, did you know we could have a for outside a function? Elixir is cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like this for here, of course the and Siri just activated. Don't know why. Anyway, get back to the what was I explaining actually? All right, the for here. I guess it's the amount of stuff that you can call outside of functions is limited, right? Because some stuff you can't do, like maybe I guess you can't have variables and you can set some stuff to variables, like a function, for example. I guess you can't do this. Let me just see if it compiles right now, because then I can show you what I mean. Yeah, no. Oops. Invalid coded expression. Name Colombia. So it's quoting deployments and quoting, I guess. I always forget how to do that. So when you have any doubt of how to do that, you just type Elixir forum. Generating multiple function clauses outside at compile time. Practical limit of multiple function has in on function 100,000. The dynamic bindings. Maybe 4 outside of a function. I know I learned this stuff on a book called, and it's not here. I learned this stuff on a book called Metaprogramming Elixir. Here. Yeah, quote def run. I think I do have to unquote, to quote to be able to actually unquote the function here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's complaining about get locate autumn too. So back to my explaining to Roger that it's not everything that you can use outside of a function. For example, I think you can set, that was a problem I had on my previous pull request. I think you can set a function like this. Right, this, if I try to compile this, it's going to throw something. Yeah, fun was set but never used. Actually, no, you can. So I really don't remember what was the problem that I had, but basically here on this function definition here, inside of this definition load function, one of the attributes was a function like this one. You know, of course, there was something, it's not just a function that returned new, but anyway, this def load function was returning something that it was giving me compile errors, saying that you actually can't do that at compile time. And yeah, I totally suggest that you read this book. Like, this is an amazing book, actually, the Metaprogramming Elixir. And thanks, Aramis, for borrowing me it. And yeah, it's pretty cool what you can do at compile time and actually optimize your code, because right now this is generating like basically as if this function was like 100 clauses, you know, and that will make code execution a lot faster, basically. Because you don't have to iterate through all the items on a list. Of course, it's going to iterate through all the definitions, but it's iterating through that is a lot faster than iterating through actual lists at runtime, right? All right, so I guess that's it. Let's try to execute this test then. Oops, here, mix test. Fingers crossed, and it didn't work. Okay. Okay. So there were 3 failures. First of them, it didn't find the BR. Let me check. So holidefs .definition.store get definition BR new BR. So there's something wrong with this, which I don't know what it is yet. I think actually I'm not sure if I need this. Really not sure. Here, let me open the book again. There is one of it. one of the chapters, extending Elixir with metaprogramming, the language of macros. It's not a macro thing. Elixir with metaprogramming, advanced compile time code generation. This is generating functions from an external data. Basically, this is what I'm doing. Like, I have a file, or in our case, a list of files. I want to iterate through this list of files and load this function. This is what actually this is doing, right? It's already iterating through those files and loading code, right? But what I want to do is to, I need to load this at compile time and set to this variable, because all definitions should return this. And then here I have to, I can iterate through this list that I have and generate functions for it. I know this is done by this book. Like here, do uppercase, all right. It actually says why it's better to use this idea of multiple clauses. All right, string Unicode, the Unicode data. Oh, right, yeah. This is actually using an example from Elixir itself. Now remember, so on the Elixir, oops, I opened a pull request. There's a file called string Unicode, a module string Unicode. Let me see, Unicode here, Unicode actually. So this string Unicode module actually does pretty much the same thing, right? Here it is. So it goes through this cluster, CR plus cluster, LF plus cluster control, which this cluster is loaded as a variable and at compile time here. I actually I don't even have to define this as module functions. I can do this because it's a variable that's going to exist at compile time, and that's it. And the locale keys here, at locale keys, were not even being used anymore. It was being used by another function. So one more thing that I can remove. Right. So what he's doing is going through these lists of stuff, iterating and generating a next graph size, which actually does pretty much the same I'm doing here. Oh, that's the problem, probably. It was, let me see. Let's compile again. All right, so variable definitions is not used. All right, basically because I am using at here. It's all right. All right, compilation error in file store, invalid quote expressions. Please make sure your quote expressions are made of valid AST nodes. If you would like to introduce a value into AST, such as a 4-element tuple or a map, make sure to call macro escape. I think I know what is the problem. I think it's the toString. Let me just, because I'm calling maybe this. This is going to be checked at compile time, so cool. Code. Because I'm calling a function inside the unquote, maybe. Oh. I guess, right, still problematic. Let me see the example here. Unquote code point. Code point is there. And here it's kind of unquoting byte size code point. So it should not be the function. What is that? Metaprogramming is a bit confusing in Elixir, but you get used to it with time. I'm just not used to it yet, actually, because you don't have to use that every day, right? So every time I do metaprogramming, it's something like this. I have to kind of rediscover everything and reread stuff from somewhere else. Let me just check if no slow frame. So yeah, cool. 3 viewers. Hey, thank you guys for listening to me. Hopefully I'm not breaking your routine, the routine of your day with random stuff. Anyways, maybe I'm going to get stuck for a while on this problem. If you'd like to introduce a value into AST, such as a for element tuple or map, make sure to call macro escape before, not sure what. So invalid code expression, holidefs definition. Oh, right, this is a value. That's why it's complaining. So the idea is that I actually need to macro escape it. Let me see. Is that it? Or macro escape before it? What? Definitions does not exist. Why? Store 14? Ah, right. Here. Macro.escape. Yeah, that's it. So I have basically this is also something very interesting about Elixir, and not a lot of languages do that. They do have very useful error messages, like this is a compilation error message, and it gives me a lot of data. So basically it says it was an invalid coded expression on this file, right? This is the quoted expression, which is the whole definition. So I kind of knew already it was, I actually, if I read it right, I would knew that it was something in here with the definition, right? Because that's where I was actually trying to use the whole structure on an unquote, because in here I was unquoting only one attribute of this whole thing, which was atom attribute, so it should not be there. So, and this part here was giving me what the problem is, right? This part of the compilation error was giving me what the problem is, and this part here was giving me a hint of how to solve it. This is pretty amazing, actually, because like I just had to actually do what they said. like I was just supposed to read this, identify like this is a struct, and a struct is a map. So if I want to input for element tuple or a map, I should call macro escape, right? Why that? Just explaining, I just remember. For element tuples and maps are the way that the internal, are the way that the code is represented at compile time. So this is what AST nodes stands to, abstract syntax tree, and the nodes there, all of them are these 4 element tuples or maps. So basically, if I have a value that is a map, the compiler has no way to actually know, hey, this is an AST node, or it's actually a value that is a map that you want to put there, right? The same applies to 4 element tuples, because then he doesn't actually know what to do to that. So and it actually tries to compile, right? It tries to compile this, and it will not work because it's not an AST node. It's actually the value that I want to unquote, right? So that's why this have to be escaped with this function macro escape.
Não sei o que você quer dizer com sou desse.
All right. These things just I like that this kind of stuff happen because then I have something to put on these small clips on Twitch, right? It gets pretty funny. And could you hear my wife laughing back there? Like she realized that actually Siri was talking to me during the live. Does that kind of stuff happen to you? Because I do have a hard time to actually trying to activate intentionally Siri. Like, e aí, Siri?
Huh?
All right, then the phone actually does. But sometimes I stay like I have to do it 10 times to activate Siri. Can you hear my wife laughing there? Her laugh is quite contagious. So hopefully this mix test now works, because now we're escaping. Yeah, it worked. Cool. So yeah, this is it for this contribution actually. This is it. And again, let's see. It's pretty straightforward, right? Not too many code. Generating one clause for every single definition. Loaded at compile time. And that's it, right? So Roger, you mentioned you were here like to kind of learn how to contribute to open source. I'm gonna change a little bit the script for you. Not sure if you're still there. Are you? Actually, I guess it's here. You can see he's not there anymore. All right. Then if you get back here, just let me know, because then I can talk a little bit about how do I contribute to open source software by reviewing code and this kind of stuff, you know, because it's, I guess, a new pull request is just a tiny bit, like adding code and fixing bugs is just a tiny bit of actually contributing to open source software. Contributing has a lot more to do, like actually trying to decide the best way, like giving your opinion sometimes on open issues, on how to solve that problem, or even reviewing someone else's pull requests and giving some tips here and there. Yeah, and you learn a lot through that. Like I can say, by reviewing Elixir pull requests, I discovered like features I didn't even imagine that Elixir has. And like by following some projects, like for example, some projects I do follow just for the sake of actually getting the updates, because I'm pretty sure I'm not good enough to contribute to them, like this Axon or NX projects that got released these days. Like if you check a pull request for it, like I don't understand pretty much anything, like, and there's thousands of lines of codes, right? but that's something I want to actually, this is benchmarking. But here's not benchmarking, right? So by actually reviewing this, I learn how to use it, what to do with them, and sometimes I even learn how to write better code, for example. And sometimes you don't learn anything with the pull request, right? Like sometimes it's just a small refactor that it's something you would already do yourself, or you know. Anyways, yeah, let me refresh it. And cool, the second thing was done. So multiple clauses for get definition. And one other thing I wanted to do on this pull request was to actually enable compile time config for locales. Basically to enable the users to say, hey, I don't want all the locales. I don't want to make all the locales available. I just need Brazilian locales and English locales. So basically we can allow them to configure, to set a configuration at compile time that's going to say, hey, holidefs, when you compile, take in consideration just these two locales, not every locale, you know? So yeah, let's do that too. Hopefully there's still someone out there. If not, I mean, I'm going to cut the highlights of this this live and put back there, maybe share on YouTube, and hopefully this could be useful to someone in the future too. So hello people from the future. All right, how can I accept that configuration? Basically, what I want to do is to actually change this function, holidefs locales. So holidefs locales, holidefs is the module. So holidefs locales, def locales, this is loaded at compile time too, right? So at locales is a module attribute. But this module attribute, I can actually say, like, yeah, these are all the supported ones, right? But I can actually just say map get or map take, I guess it's the ix map dot take, yeah. Right, I can do something like map dot take from this the list of available how can I call it? Actually, maybe I can call it straight here. I call the actual application let me see what's the name of the function, application dot getenv, I guess. Yeah, getenv, and getenv takes the app, the key, and a default value. I actually maybe want to have a map with all the locales set, right? So let me roll back all these changes, right? Here. So this is all locales. and I'm going to set another attribute called just locales. All right, so this locales, I'm gonna get map.take. I didn't even show the take here. Oh, thank you. You bring some cake for us. Thank you. On take here, you send a map and the keys. There's still coffee. Thank you. You send a map and a list of the keys that you want to get, and it's going to return only the key, a new map with only those keys. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to get from our locales only the stuff that were sent on application.getEnv. On getEnv, then what I have to send is the app, right? The configuration key and a default value. So basically, it's the app. The name of the app is holidefs, right? The key is going to be locales, and a default configuration, as previously, if you had this project imported, it would import all the locales. What I have to do is that get the default value for it would be the map values for all locales. You got quite big, this line. I hate when it hits there, because on mixed format it's going to break this function call then. Locales to load, config. Yeah, this is it. And then I go lodeus config. Locales config. Locales config, locales to load. Maybe locales to load. I'm thinking here, maybe I want this to be on a different module, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I guess this is good enough. All right. So also this module attribute is not used. That got me interested when to use module attributes and when to use variables. Module attributes versus compile time variables. Maybe I'll create a new topic for that someday. All right, so this is it. This should allow people to actually set a compile time configuration, right? And let's test. Now back to the error no def. So why that? Right. Pretty obvious. It's not the values that I want, it's the keys. Locale keys. Let me name it that way. It's even better. Locale keys. It's gonna get the keys from all. Right, let me just test it. Mix test. Ooh, the problem is that it's a compile time configuration. So to test this, I would have to maybe just do something like this on my configuration for I don't need this comment because I'm doing exactly what this comment is actually telling me to. Here, enter file name dev.exs. Actually, just let me use dev.exs. All right. Oops. Config prod.exs. It's going to have these two, and test.exs. On this file, I'm going to set config holidefs to the key is locales, and what are the locales that I use on tests? I don't even know. Test holidefs br. Let me just put Brazilian locales and US locales and see, right? Brazilian and US. So these are the only two that are going to be loaded on tests. So this test should fail because it should be only Brazil and US. And it didn't. It should be failing. Holidefs locales io.inspect, just make sure, mix test. Strange. Oh, holidefs test here. Oh, get regions. Duh. Test locales returns 0, returns all the locales loaded on compile time. So assert holidefs locales. So there was no test for that, right? Equals it's a map, right? And let me get the failing test, and then I can get the actual map that is returned, which is Brazil and United States, and it is exactly what I expect to return. All right, cool. I guess that's it then. The test should pass and we can go home. To configure the locales to load. at compile time. So this configuration is also going to make the code more performant as a whole, right? Because there will be less locales, which will generate less get definition functions on the store. And yeah, so this is basically a huge optimization from a process that saves everything in memory and everything should be get through messages to the process to something that's generated at compile time and it's cut to actually only what is needed. So that's why. Let's refresh it here. And well, I guess that's it for today, guys. I'm not going to be able to check the tests with you for the live view thing I did on the beginning, but I mean, I didn't promise that, right? And also the personal README page, it's going to get postponed to the next live. Hopefully you find that useful, right? Thanks, Keen and Roger. Thank you both for joining me on this today, and yeah, thank you. I'm not sure what is this button supposed to do, but anyways, see you guys next time, which should be probably Monday. See you.